I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said, when there's blood in the streets, there's money to be made. So if you look at the history of our country, anytime there's been a very time of uncertainty, there's always been opportunity. And that's how you know, the universe works, right? You can't have strength without struggle. You can't have opportunity. You can't grow anything without planting a seed. Tilling the earth is hard. So that being the case, I look at vicarious times as opportunity. You just have to source it out. You have to figure out, okay, if everybody's afraid over here, then what are they gravitating to? Because there's always going to be opportunity to fix a problem, to create a space for a solution.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Art Wilson of Condor Equity. We're going to talk about thriving in high-interest markets, finding equity in overlooked places, why a strong team is the ultimate investment. Thank you for being here, Art.
Hey, Kristen, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Amazing. Well, you built a career that kind of spans a bunch of different aspects of the real estate industry. How did you fall in love with it in the beginning?
I had a mentor back in my early 20s. He was in the mortgage business. And I kind of emulated him from a distance for a while and realized that, real estate and the financial sectors, especially in real estate, was something that I wanted to make a pivot in my career and do. So I did that and started as a loan officer in a small mortgage shop. Actually went to work for him. And about a year and a half later, got my broker's license and grew that, started my own mortgage company, grew that from a 2-man suite to about 45 loan officers, 6 support staff, and some great underwriters. So we did a bunch of high yielding loans, a lot of first-time home buyer stuff, things of that nature. And then simultaneous to that, I started to purchase and buy my own properties, which got me into development.
Amazing. And how did that feel to get into development? Did you just get the bug right away?
I just saw the earning potential in it. And then I've always worked in high density areas. I mean, even growing up, I grew up in Seattle, so everything was high density there. It's kind of landlocked. So just understanding how you could repurpose different properties and renovate and things of that nature was just a really good creative side, creative way for me to explore, the industry by getting my feet wet with just purchasing and rehabbing properties. And then that interest turned into, more multifamily development and projects on a larger scale. I had a great attorney, and she kind of led me down the road from just flipping houses to really understanding the whole development process.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So when you were in you started out in lending and then you went into kind of more of a creative role. Were you kind of figuring out what you liked in real estate, or did you like a bunch of things and you were just kind of picking?
Out of college, I had a crossbreed degree in architecture and engineering. So I've always been driven on the creative side of real estate, without understanding, the actual ins and outs of structuring a deal.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And then the other aspect of it was my godfather. I went to work for him when I was 13 in his barbecue restaurant, and there was two things I learned how to do there. It was one was cook, and the other one was how to put a pencil to a real estate deal because he was a developer at the time as well. So that experience, stuck with me throughout my career. And then when I understood kind of where true wealth was being built in real estate, being one of the key factors of that, I really dove in deep by using not only my relationships with the lending institutions that I had developed, but also with the individuals that I was helping fund some of their deals, right? So I got together with them and kind of learned the business, and then I was able to get my minority construction contractor's license in Seattle, because back then anything you did for the city partially had to be given to minority developers. So I was able to participate in that and got a couple deals with the Seattle Housing Authority when they were doing their big redevelopment there. And, just kind of took it from there and then got into condo conversions, anything that was kind of repurposing an asset to make it better, to build it stronger, was kind of my philosophy behind real estate. And that kind of turned into the deal matrix that I deal with, that I implement now.
Yeah, and what was interesting about what you said, what was kind of the mindset shift when you were going from making money, having a job, to actually building wealth? What is that difference in your mindset?
I really started to understand alignment, to be honest with you. And I understood that I couldn't do it by myself. So going from just kind of being in control of everything and handling every aspect of a transaction or a deal, because I'd go and I'd either raise capital by myself, or I'd, secure the senior debt by myself. You know what I mean? I'd hire my own crews and things of that nature. Where I realized in order to really go from uh, being successful at doing deals and building wealth was the people that you surrounded yourself with. And having a similar mindset, number one. And number two, just having just the right attitude and the right emotional capacity um, was just key to, like, not only getting through a deal, but long term uh, wealth creation through the relationships that you build. I mean, it really starts there. It really doesn't start with the financial aspect of it. It starts with, number one, with your mindset, and then number two, the people that you surround yourself with is I say secondary as far as importance when it comes to doing anything when it comes to wealth creation, and not just real estate, but anything what you're trying to do.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
often the hardest part of the job, is surrounding yourself with like-minded people, trustworthy people.
Right.
How do you, when you're interacting with people, how do you make those bonds? Like, how, I'm sure people see you as a very trustworthy person. How do you create that environment?
I really look for synergy. You know what I mean? You don't really have it with everybody, but when you have it with individuals that you come in contact with and you have a similar task in mind, and you can get on the same page quickly, those are the type of relationships that you want to nourish and really invest in. And then that's what I've been able to do pretty much, over my 27 years in this business, is build the proper relationships to last through, the difficult times when it comes to doing any type of project. Because real estate, it's really not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? It takes everything out of you. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, you know, it's spiritual because you got to pray through things sometimes. And then ultimately the relationships that you are doing or building with the people that you're doing business with, they can get strained, they can get argumentative sometimes, but if you're aligned and you have the same goal in mind, that's when you can last the adversity that you have to go through to really be successful and profitable in this business. And that goes in hand in hand with the people that you get equity from too. You know, um, all my investors that I do business with, we are aligned. You know what I mean? So I don't have to, I can be 100% transparent with them. You know what I mean? I don't have to hide the ball or anything like that because they know that because of the intangible things that we share, that I'm doing things in the best interest of making sure that all of us are winning.
Right. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, you kind of learn it from also dealing with people that you don't want to work with and people who
Yeah,
that you get screwed
absolutely.
by. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't say I've ever been in a bad relationship because I've learned from all of them.
Right.
But even though some of them were very painful, very difficult, some of them, I lost money because of other people's greed and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I became a stronger person, stronger businessman, and able to navigate waters on a higher level because of those bad relationships versus the good ones. I think I've learned more from the bad relationships than the ones that were always completely aligned with me.
Absolutely. And then shifting gears a little bit, I would love for you to just talk about your philosophy on development in today's market.
You know, one, you really have to have a deal matrix. You know what I mean? And you don't really vary from that. And our business model with my company, we only do high density development. We do shovel ready dirt, meaning it has to be completely developed and ready to go vertical within 60 days. Right. So it allows my architectural team, or at acquisition, I'm buying a project versus just dirt, so that I can make sure that I can stay in a specific timeline as far as completion when it comes to my product is concerned. Because we do business with a lot of institutional buyers. And, a lot of times when they contract with us, they need it done in a very specific amount of time because they have money that they have to allocate towards, per quarter in investing in whatever. And so in order for me to keep those relationships, look for specific deals. And the individuals that are out there finding property for me, they know exactly what my deal matrix is. They know exactly how much I pay for property. And then I have a certain number, as far as my deal matrix is concerned when it comes to the construction aspect of it. And that keeps my 33% profit margin at a minimum. You know what I mean? I mean, every deal I do, a minimum of 33% is what we look for in profit, but that's because we begin with the end in mind, right? So from the time we even look at a deal, whether or not we're interested in purchasing it or not, we walk through our whole entire process to make sure that piece of dirt meets every single criteria, which is making sure it's in the right area. The density is high, the impact is high. We do a lot of work in opportunity zones because it's always in high density and high impact areas where opportunity zones is because the need is great, right? So that's kind of our deal matrix from a holistic standpoint. Obviously more goes into it, but that's the whole thing. We buy the dirt right. It's got to be 60 days to go vertical, meaning starting the foundation within 60 days. It has to meet our numbers when it comes to construction, and then typically we've already negotiated pre buyers on the back end of our product.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And if we haven't negotiated a back end buyer already, we know based off of the area that we're building in that the density is high enough so the demand isn't affected whether or not interest rates or who's in office, all of those things that usually drive markets where people are looking more destination. Anything outside of downtown, that's kind of where we focus our attention. Anything where there's property that's landlocked or the value of the land is higher in that particular area than others is kind of where we always focus our attention. So that's kind of how we um, you know, do our risk mitigation as far as, making sure we're in the right product at the right time, and keep our track record intact.
Yeah, and you did a good job of explaining all of that and kind of what you're looking for. What are some immediate red flags, like things that you see in a lot of properties where it's just absolutely not, we will not develop this land?
Uh, as far as what we won't touch, we just don't really look at property that is in areas that are just up and coming, right? A lot of developers, a lot of like the big boys, they can create the market, right? They can say, okay, we're going to develop over here and we're going to get all the big box players to come and help us build out this area because this is where we want to build. We're more boutique when it comes to our development. So we have to be around where things are already established. And so we don't look to recreate the market. We fit in to a portion of the market that's already been created, if that makes sense.
Right. And that's much less
Yeah.
risk too. You're already coming into a
Yeah.
growing area.
And then it's the formula is not hard. You know what I mean? It's like every major city has a downtown core, and then every neighborhood around the downtown core is high density, and that's kind of where everybody wants to live, whether you're 25 to 40 because it's the lifestyle, or it's you're in your later on in life and you're in your 50s and 60s and you're downsizing from the family house to more of a convenient living uh situation. You know what I mean? That you move from the suburbs back into the city because of convenience and because of lifestyle and wanting to be more active, especially the later on in life where you've kind of worked to the point where it's time for you to relax. You see it a lot in major cities where senior individuals are moving downtown just because they want to live again. So you got two sides of the market, right? You got the ones that are just starting, and then you have the ones that are, almost in a celebratorial situation, you know what I mean, where they're just ready to relax. The kids are off to college, and they're looking to recapture some of their youth.
Right. And what
Yeah.
would you say to somebody I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but somebody who's just afraid of the market, who just, thinks it's unpredictable? Because there's a lot of different things being said about the market right now. I would love to hear your perspective on the opportunity right now.
I can't think of the quote. I can't think of who said this quote. Um, but the quote is, I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest with you. But I think he said, when there's blood in the streets, there's money to be made,
Mhm.
right? So if you look at the history of our country, anytime there's been a very time of uncertainty, there's always been opportunity, you know, and that's how you know the universe works, right? You
Right.
can't have strength without struggle. You can't have opportunity. You can't grow anything without planting a seed. Tilling the earth is hard. So that being the case, I look at vicarious times. Whenever there's vicarious times as opportunity, right? You just have to source it out. You have to figure out, okay, if everybody's afraid over here, then what are they gravitating to? Because
Mhm.
there's always going to be opportunity to fix a problem,
Right.
to create a space for a solution. You know what I mean? So I've never really looked at down markets as anything to really worry about. I look at them as opportunity. I just need to find the opportunity,
Right.
right? And then in real estate, it's easy to do if you just, look at the market. Who's still building and where. Um, where are home buyers still looking to buy? You know what I mean? Because whether it's a 5% interest rate or a 7% interest rate, if a homeowner is ready to buy, they're going to buy, right? But the markets adjust, and there's opportunity where markets adjust and you be able to buy low, versus being at the top of the market and having to compete with everybody else. So it's all about alignment and being prepared, and, having a few coins in your pocket to be able to take advantage of the opportunities when they're presented to you.
Absolutely.
So,
Good advice.
I don't want to sound, uh, like I only drink Kool-Aid, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I do bake lemons into lemonade. That is definitely my philosophy.
No, it's great. I love hearing optimism about the market and positivity
Yeah.
about the market. And to kind of wrap all this up, what would be a piece of advice that you wish you learned earlier in your career that you can share with us?
You know, um, some of the things that I've talked about, that I've, actually, had to make correction, or be prepared, or get in alignment, all of those things that kind of adversity teaches you. I wish I would have learned that those were the reasons behind the things that I was going through. So I could have navigated them faster, and cut my learning curve. You know what I mean? So that I could capitalize on the things that I see now. You know what I mean? Because the opportunities, I mean, our economy is cyclical, right? So it's going to come around, comes around, and it comes around, and it comes around. But a lot of times we're in the same position that we were the last time the opportunity came around. So we can't even take advantage of it again. So you missed it twice, right? So, um, if I were to tell my younger self something, um, I would tell myself to have belief without fear. Number one, pay attention to my awareness. Um, faith is really big for me. Um, you know, all those intangible universal traits that we have, we really need to, or I would have wished I would have paid attention more, to them, or understood them more. Not paid attention to them more, because I've always kind of been insightful about it. But, you know, things get moving fast. You get caught up in circumstances. You really don't really take the time to really navigate situations the way they should be, and look for the lessons in them, instead of worried about the circumstances at the time.
I love that. That's great advice. Well, tell people where to
Yeah.
find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Adversity Millionaire. On Instagram, my LinkedIn is just Arthur Wilson, Condor Equity. CondorEquity.com is our business website. Um, you also can, I'm writing a book right now about adversity, to be honest with you. It's called Refined. You can find that information at refined9.com.
Yeah, give us a little log line of the book.
Well, it's called Refine, the 9 success principles of adversity. Adversity happens to us for a reason, as we were just talking about. And I believe that everything we go through, regardless of the pain level, it's for either correction, preparation, alignment, or a testimony so that you can help others, right? And in every single thing that we go through, we have to understand duality. You can't get one without the other. It's just designed that way. Adversity is applied to the earth because it applies to all mankind. There's no way of escaping it. So you might as well make the mental mind shift to really understand how to navigate it and use it for your benefit. Turn it into equity.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, it sounds awesome. And everybody, please check out Art on Instagram and learn more about the book and learn more about Condor Equity.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me. I appreciate it.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. And everybody, we will see you back next time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.